What's good, YouTube? And welcome to an indeterminate amount of time in the Mystic Mine. Love or hate this ban list, it has slammed the market and had a lot of conversations. Oh, I'm quitting the game until Mystic Mine is gone. Are you really, though? You're gonna go test Digimon, you're gonna test these others. Maybe you'll fall in love, maybe you'll have a good time, or you'll be right back here grumbling. We're all addicts to this game, aren't we? Mystic Mine secret rares are now selling at almost $30 for the prismatic, and when you look at it, it's getting sales rates right bubbling to there. Tons of them selling out through the day at $25. If you're playing the gold rare, remember they're a little thicker. I would double sleeve your main deck if you're choosing that option, and it shot up to around $20, some available at $18 here. And the super rare from Dark Neostorm, the OG version, is going for near that $20, also seeming to actually start to pass the gold rare in popularity in terms of actual sales, as it has bubbled to its peak just now. Like a couple of minutes ago, it wasn't necessarily here. So still changes throughout the day, and you're going to see prices fluctuate, but there's a ton of things that happen because of the ban list that I did expect and then did not expect on the market. Let's go through the list. First off, Fusion Destiny. If you were on the stream last night, I'm back to streaming. It was going up in price due to DPE's reprint already, so it was kind of near buyout mode, but from a natural demand. Now we see it ridiculously spike as it goes to 3, and a lot of people considering this engine, once again, you're getting to play more Fusion than bricks if you're playing it for DPE. We'll see how that goes for you, but the ultimate rare is sitting around 60 and pretty consistently selling right next to it, with listers coming in hot. You can see how it's sold through the day at 70, but has available listings under this now, so you'll have that also cool off factor as vendors go, okay, get to listing, I want to sell this, I think this is overhyped, and you'll see kind of the fluctuations of those either get bought out or they'll actually just start to chill from the competition. But the ultra rare and super, the most available copies, are starting around $20+ and kind of selling like hotcakes. This is near 30 at this point. Again, ban list day, you're going to see a lot of overreactions. It's almost like when a set releases and you say, wait 2 weeks to see where it ends up. Sometimes a couple of cards will continue to spike or get revolving buyouts, while most other things do calm down. Substitute, I have absolutely no idea how this is going to combo in Modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially without Ronin Totem. We'll have to wait to see what the people in the lab develop with that one, but it is really up there. Lowest copies peppered throughout the lower mid-20s, but it starts to appear more at the $30 mark. Man, if you got a bunch of these somewhere, probably not a bad time to unload, but we'll see how it actually plays into Yu-Gi-Oh! Next up, we have Trickstar Light Stage. This went all the way to 3. It also was already on buyout mode that we were covering, so a lot of people speculating on that ahead of time, and they seem to be pretty big winners here. Not going the craziest, most absurd in price, but certainly low on quantities right now. Now, on the other end of things, the ban list often causes people to dip and reach into decks that they were either scared of it getting hit somehow past the point of what they were comfortable with, and there's a lot of decks that have actually benefited from the ban list that weren't directly on there or were even hit, like Fairy Tail Snow going out, but people are looking at the Shizu era coming up for good old Tearlaments, and the field spell is spiking very hard today, back up into the 90s here. Almost sounds like a weatherman, doesn't it? It's the Texas weather, almost exactly. Spellbook of Judgment. This was one people have been calling for a while. I believe it's already free in the OCG. First edition spiking up to that $46, $47 range with plenty of sales today, but other spellbook cards are rising. I mentioned Spellbook of the Masters lets you actually copy certain spellbook effects, and you also have, I believe, Ulti Blue Boys and Ulti Secrets starting to go up the book. So those cards are also versions that are max rarity going up. You can still find Unlims relatively cheap for this card right now at $10, but the first edition lowest begins around $35 here at a 0% feedback seller, and then it quickly goes up 38, 40, 50, very few copies, but there's more than there was earlier in the day after buyout mode. Nadir Servant secret rares did get bought out, and this is one of those things that I do think is a knee-jerk reaction. While the deck definitely improves a lot from having it go that way, you know, the triple, double plus in price increase, that's a bit much. The lowest copy starting at 42 here for 2, before it's 48. Again, people listing through the day trying to make those sales. sales, but a lot of them sold out up to that point, while some have gone over. TCG Direct, am I right? You also do have the ultra rare version at 6.9 listings. Nice, not going too crazy, but still up from where it was at earlier in the day, and people going up on it around $10 at this point. Ecclesia has one wholesale on the Starlight. That lets you know how much people really believe on it at the top end, right? You see all these listings around that price, one wholesale through the day. The more affordable version at the top end would be the ultimate rare, which some people do, of course, prefer ulti over Starlight. You see a ton of sales on that through the day. Started at 28, the days before, and now it's selling for around $40, with most listings being right around there, saying, please, take it. I'm still listed. Go ahead. Take it from me. And you do have a very nice prismatic secret rare / the ultra rare, similar to that price on the lower end, starting at $5 to $6. Cyberjar was a huge shock to me off of the list due to Empty Jar and other decks. Not the most threatening card in the world, but it is an interesting one to see back in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! The only holographics for it being the Hobby League, which I would not play in a tournament, as well as the ultimate rare. Remember, there is a difference in first edition and unlims. The unlims have the new style foiling around the border, in addition to not being first edition, of course. So some baboomers really enjoy the old school version. I kind of dig having the foil border, but I do get there's that difference in feeling, right? The first editions have gone by far the fastest, and the unlims are also up in price. 6.9. Nice. Let's see where the first eds are actually at right now. A little React Andy content. $120 with sales directly in that range. I actually hadn't peeked how it was doing. Discord just told me it was up. Thanks. Adventure Token Package Engine. Rite of Armaseer is really going up, where Water Enchantress hasn't quite done that yet. We see this card back to $50 to $55. It's the one that every single Banlist people, are they gonna hit the engine? Oh, they didn't? All right, let's go! And they buy back into it. They kind of sell it when they're scared, buy back in when it's not hit. We've had a cycle of this with this specifically, and again, Konami hasn't gone in and resold this, so I'm not too surprised, but they could have done a little something to it. However, completely unhit, spiking in price, and that's why. Curious actually is up just a smidge, which is funny with Fairy Tail Snow being banned, because the combos with Nightmare Griffin in order to add things are still here. So this is kind of baby bumping up under the radar. MBT did make a tweet about that. Might be a bit of the traction that happened. But yes, you have Curious Griffin plays going on. Aluber secret rares are actually up in price. Again, this was shorted in the 10s, and I don't want to play an ultra rare, and this is still way cheaper than the OG secret. So it's in that sweet spot of there's not the most of them, and people are now getting more for them / willing to pay more, as there's not the most of them in the world. Thanks, 2022 10s, for all the short prints. We were talking about this real quick. I do want to hash it out. People were trying to defend this as a good product. I'm going to go through this list real quick. We're going to call half prints short prints, just for the quickness here. Short print, short print, short print, short print, short print. First not short print. Congrats, Ash. Short print. Short print, and starting to go up through today, as well as people prepare for Shizu tier elements, very much down in quantities. Short print, short print, short print, short print, short print. Coincidence? I think not. And then you finally get to the front page by quantities of the non-short prints. Every single top card except Ash is short printed. Yeah, this product, there's a reason why vendors are not opening it, even though all these attractive prices are theirs for 10 cards. Again, ratios exist. We went through that on the stream. I can't let that go. Edge Imp Chain also up in price, as a lot of the deck is cheaper now. And again, that same problem with the Megatons. Everybody has this in hands. Might as well go complete it. It's not like a forced buyout. Super Edge Imp Chain is up proportionally and actually has the most copies on market, as the common is experiencing buyout mode again. Dark Charmer, the gloomy guy, is actually, as a non-waifu charmer, really going up in price. And you see towards 520, 550, stabilized. Remember the buyout and how it kind of had that moment of, well, what's going to happen with this? People are spending a ton of money on this Starlight, even into the 600s at times, but we've also had the conversation with this overspending. Is it preferred sellers? Is it people trying to juice the market on the card? Some weird sales in the past on this guy, but definitely stabilizing in price up there at this point. And even the super rare is up along with it, although much more affordable for you duelists, around $2.50 to $3. I wanted to talk about the Morphtronic FTK before the ban list day, so I'm just going to briefly mention that there is a Morphtronic or a crazy Bishbalkin FTK going around, and more stable versions of that, of course, too. This card doing FTK stuff is up in price over time, so it might be a little more money than you thought you had, around $2.50 to $3. Also, Dino-Miscus being teched in plenty of decks, and still a way to maybe make Toad later. With only Ronin gone, people will still be looking for ways to play into it, and it's still a tech within the format. It'll be interesting to see if people continue to stay on it as their removal in the format, but super down in quantities heading into today's for the holographics, and not the most of the Mega Pack common, but plenty of the OG common. Funny how that happens a lot. When Pegasus adding Nister, super rares have been slowly, going everywhere, but I was surprised that they were still a solid price where they were at, and it combos as one of the best synchros for Artemis Slay, of course, along with Herald, depending on your deck. And then Gizmek Uka we had before the ban list. It's a level 7 for the rank 7 OCG good deck stuff, and I still think it's one of the more complicated cards to get out of your hand slash it's okay, but we'll see how people are actually on that deck and what they'll be teching and how they'll be comboing. But be aware, the secret rare is up and the common is out of the Obelisk structure deck. It's still around like 20 cents or something like that last I checked, so not the most in the world, but if you want the holographic, maybe a sooner than later situation. I remember when Simo and MBT blew this meme up out of the water. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. I know it gets pretty crazy with the ban list, so I'm sure there's plenty I missed. I'll probably do another one tomorrow. Let me know what you think of what's happening with the cards. Already enough hot takes with the ban list. I'm sure they'll be through the comment sections with plenty of arguing, but yeah, the proof is kind of in the prices where people are willing to spend their money on what you'll probably be playing against at locals this week. Thanks for watching, everybody.